The 2025 MotoGP season has entered a critical phase. Although Marc Márquez's spectacular performance has dominated headlines worldwide, Ducati Corse general manager Gigi Dall'Igna revealed that their success isn't as strong as it seems. In an exclusive interview after the Brno Grand Prix, Dall'Igna delivered a stark warning. What did he warn about regarding Ducati's performance? Let's discuss. Marquez's victory in Brno was a historic milestone. 5 consecutive double wins in both sprint and full races. The win also widened his championship lead over his younger brother, Alex Marquez, 2 points. However, as Dall'Igna noted, these numbers can't mask a more complex reality. Ducati's competitors have closed the gap. The other teams have really closed the gap, Dall'Igna stated bluntly. Our advantage from the start of the season has been significantly reduced. In Brno, only 2 Ducati riders, Marc Márquez and Francesco Bagnaya, finished in the top 10. Alex Marquez crashed. Augusto Fernandez received a penalty. Fabio Di Giannantonio fell to 16th place. And Franco Morbidelli was absent due to injury. In contrast, KTM and Aprilia performed well and reached the podium. Ducati Corse general manager Gigi Dall'Igna firmly identified the MotoGP concession system as one of the main factors pressuring his team. Originally intended to help struggling manufacturers, this regulation has backfired on Ducati. Teams like KTM and Aprilia, which are still under the concession manufacturer status, have significant flexibility. They can conduct more testing sessions, use more test tires, and aggressively develop their engines throughout the season. Meanwhile, Ducati, which has enjoyed considerable success in recent seasons, is facing stricter restrictions under the new regulations. Their room for development has been severely limited. Consequently, their strategy for the start of the 2025 season is more conservative and cautious. We know our flexibility is limited, said Dall'Igna, so we have to be careful from the start. However, the situation is now turning against us. Our rivals continue to develop while we are forced to hold back. The pressure intensifies mid-season as our main competitors show significant progress while Ducati struggles to keep up. There is no doubt about Marc Márquez's greatness this season. With 8 wins out of 12, reaches a record-breaking 66.7% win rate. He dominates the championship in all conditions. Whether it's wet or dry, a sprint race, or a full race, Márquez always appears unassailable. He has become nearly impossible to beat, even for his strongest rivals. He's not just a rider now. He's the standard, said Gigi Dall'Igna, general manager of Ducati Corse, in an interview after the Brno Grand Prix. However, behind the praise lies a deep concern. Dall'Igna frankly admitted that Ducati can't continue pinning all its hopes on one rider, no matter how extraordinary his performance. Dependence on Márquez is a double-edged sword. If Márquez crashes, fails to finish, or gets injured in just one race and no other Ducati rider can close the gap, the team's entire strategy could collapse in an instant. MotoGP is about more than just chasing the rider's title. A lot is at stake behind the scenes, including the constructor's title and the team's championship. This is where the challenge lies. Currently, cracks are starting to show in the depth of the Ducati squad. Riders such as Pecco Bagnaya, Jorge Martin, and Enea Bastianini have not demonstrated the desired level of consistency. If Ducati wants to maintain its overall supremacy, it must find a solution quickly. Márquez is a genius, but even a genius can't succeed alone in such a complex race for the World Championship. While Marc Márquez's extraordinary resurgence with Ducati is in the spotlight, Francesco Bagnaya, the world champion for the past 2 seasons, has had a challenging season. His consistency has faltered, and his performance has been far from perfect. Despite securing pole position in Brno and maintaining a strong pace throughout the race, Bagnaya suffered a major setback in the sprint race. His hopes of competing were dashed by a tire pressure warning that turned out to be wrong. Frustration was inevitable. Now Bagnaya trails his teammate, Marc Márquez, by 169 points and will likely settle for 3rd place in the standings. Nevertheless, Ducati general manager Gigi Dall'Igna offered his support and praise to the reigning champion. I feel responsible for the technical issues, but overall, this was probably Pecco's best weekend of the season, Dall'Igna said, expressing his solidarity. Bagnaya continues to struggle with one unresolved technical issue: braking problems with the Desmosedici GP25. These issues have eroded his key strength, his ability to brake late, which was his ultimate weapon during his dominant 2022 and 2023 seasons. The problem remains, but we are working on it together. We are moving forward little by little, Dall'Igna added, emphasizing that Ducati will not abandon Pecco in this difficult situation. Amidst the immense pressure and the growing shadow of Marquez, Bagnaya's struggle is a silent one, the inner battle of a champion who refuses to give up before the finish line. Summer is usually a time for riders and teams to recharge. However, for Ducati, the summer of 2025 has become a time for deep reflection. It's no longer a time for relaxation, it's a clarion call, awakening those under the shadow of temporary dominance. KTM continues to grow rapidly. Aprilia has found stability in its performance, and Yamaha is slowly emerging from its slumber. Threats are coming from all directions. Ducati, the dominant force for the past 2 seasons, is now feeling the heat from its rivals. Now is not the time to think about vacations. It's time to get back to work, analyze, and improve. "We cannot remain silent," said Gigi Dall'Igna, general manager of Ducati Corse. Dall'Igna openly admitted that, if Ducati wants to maintain its supremacy, it must abandon complacency. They must return to their roots, relearn every detail, and build an entirely new motorcycle, one that's not just good enough to win, but one that can outlast the ever-growing competition. This summer isn't just a break, it's a silent battleground, where Ducati's future is being decided. This season has the potential to be one of the most iconic in MotoGP history, and Marc Márquez is poised to further cement his place in the sport's record books. If his winning streak continues, Marquez will not only secure the World Championship title, but also set a new record for the most wins in a single season. A record now under threat due to his incredible form. Legends like McDowell and Valentino Rossi are celebrated for their incredible dominance. In the 1997 season, Duan recorded 12 wins out of 15 races. Meanwhile, Marquez set an incredible record in 2014 with 13 wins in a single season. Rossi dominated the early 2000s, achieving 4 consecutive seasons with more than 10 wins. Now, in the Arling-Arwood season, Marquez has secured 8 wins from 12 races, with 7 remaining. With the momentum he's building, it's possible that this Spanish genius will equal or even break these legendary records. History awaits, and Marquez seems ready to rewrite it. Marc Márquez is writing a new chapter in MotoGP history. However, as Gigi Dall'Igna points out, individual victories don't guarantee collective glory. Ducati's rivals are on the rise. The once wide margin is narrowing. If Ducati wants to stay at the top, they must act now, not later. Can Ducati return to being the dominant force it was in 2022 to 2023? Share your thoughts below.